Oh, what's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S., part of the Media Group presented by MFTK Foundation. Right now, need that bread, need some guap, need some donations, seriously. Got a couple big tournaments, still waiting for a grant, for our other grant to come through. In the process of doing that, it costs money. We've got a big tournament this weekend where we're sending people to. The hotel's about $2,000. Then next weekend, we have our Houston tournament where our national team is going. Got to get the flights covered. Just each weekend, there's something bigger and better that we are doing. At the end of the day, it's about the kids. The money will come back to you. If anybody wants to hit me up, to just know how you can take care of some things individually. Would love to chop it up with people, but that's basically what we got out here at the Super Bowl. That's why we missed Monday's show right here on a Wednesday, trying to catch things back up with everybody. With that being said, let's start our show off the same way we start our show off each and every day with the word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
All right, Jaden, hit us with what we got to talk about today.
We have a hump day episode.
Jaden?
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So we have a good episode for you guys here on Wednesday on Hump Day. We're going to start with some FSU football news. Then we're going to touch up on some of the college football landscape. We have some questions for the chat about the overall structure of college football before getting into the NFL. Just look at some more information regarding the Jaguars this offseason. Take a look at some championship statistics for the Super Bowl. Then we're going to get into our normal BS or Bussin' convo with our BS or Bussin' food review and some other things sprinkled in the mix as well. But I want to get James talking this morning because FSU has a lot of important news to discuss as of late, with the first one happening on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, and that is regarding our offensive side of the ball for the Seminoles. So if you guys are not aware, yes, it is true that the legendary OC in college football, has decided to hang it up while at Florida State. Now, James, I have two questions for you. One, how surprising was this retirement from Gus Malzahn? And two, what will FSU do now since he has retired?
Well, we know he was trying to find different things to do. We know he was looking for other opportunities, and I think he really wanted to be able to take charge and get back into control in the manner in which he was. I think Gus is going to end up going. I mean, he's done for right now, unless he gets an opportunity to be in more control or in a situation that's a little bit more stable. Hey, I gotta take this, Jaden. Y'all go ahead. I'll get back on here in about 5 minutes.
There you guys have it, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to reiterate that Gus Malzahn has retired from FSU, but I'm curious in the chat. I know we do have a lot of FSU fans in the building that is tapped in, and I know that although we are not a FSU centered show, FSU is near and dear to our hearts. We definitely have a lot of experience and memories with the program. But just kind of piggyback off of what James was saying to me these past couple days about this Gus Malzahn situation. Now, everybody always wonders this question: how recently did Mike become aware of the Malzahn situation, him wanting to retire? One can only imagine the type of decisions he had to make, especially after the quarterback fiasco and offensive situations, which ultimately resulted in a poor season from the FSU Seminoles. While players definitely did not make plays, if you guys did watch some of the offensive struggles, you could see the plays were there to be made. It wasn't necessarily Gus's fault in terms of the type of plays he ran, but obviously he didn't have the personnel to run that type of offense he wanted to run to a T. So, how often did the FSU fans or the FSU staff know about this decision? Well, we don't know how long ago he notified the FSU camp, if you will, from this, but we are going to see how the offensive coordinator position will continue to evolve at FSU. And we were aware that during the 10-3 and 13-0 seasons, Mike actually was our play caller, Mike Norvell. But just like Angelo Smith said, Tim Harris was elevated to OC. But Mike Norvell, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes that higher play calling role like he did in the previous years before Gus. But with Gus Malzahn, like I said, I don't think the problem was necessarily the big problem was the type of plays he was running, because with the scheme, he's known for kind of a quote unquote gadget type of offensive guy. I think we definitely thought we had the players to run that scheme to a T, but the plays weren't made because of the players more so. But if you can't tailor your offense to your players' struggles, then somebody could also argue that as being a fault as well. So with this, Mike will be calling plays, aka Mr. Blanco. Hope there's not an influx of tunnel screens like they usually were in the past couple of seasons. But we are going to circle back to this topic, the FSU topics. We're going to circle back to that because you guys know better than me, being members of the show, that James definitely has the inside scoop on this information. He knows more of the nitty-gritty details involving some of the relationships behind closed doors. And I'm excited to come back to this point because he's definitely going to be providing you guys with some insight you won't get on your local social media accounts from the hearsay, she say. When it comes to James, if he's speaking it out his mouth, then some facts are going to be behind this as well. So I'm just going to see what you guys are saying in the chat regarding Gus Malzahn, because I know we got some Tallahassee natives in there as well. Oh, and perfect timing. It looks like James is back, so we can pick up on the conversation and just remind James of the two questions we had for him. One, how long did FSU know about this Gus situation? And two, what is FSU going to do now?
I think that they've probably known it was coming. If you look at the way that he kind of decided to take off, he did it during. Right now, they're in dead period. What dead period means is that recruiting is kind of silent right now. So like you don't necessarily need him in like right now. So you can and it gives you a chance to maybe even go recruit other replacements. It's not necessarily replacements. You're gonna have to find another coach. In general, they've bumped up Tim Harris to he was already a co-OC, and we just know Mike's going to probably end up calling plays. So, and that's the biggest thing is trying to get that's what they're going to be. That's what they're going to end up doing. So, getting Mike back into the fold. That's why you see guys like Jordan Travis trying to give his vote of confidence to Mike Norvell, saying that, I know he could do it. But it doesn't seem well, and it kind of just one of those things where you're being hit constantly. Every little thing it is not even little things. It's just they're just adding up. So you're not winning. You've won 7 games in 2 years. You bring in somebody to try to rectify that, and if you do see an uptick in and going in the right direction, then he seemingly leaves after being rumored to be taking other head coaching jobs earlier during the offseason. You don't seem like you have stability in your staff. You seem like you have a coach that's on the way out. There's a lot of different things that that Mike and FSU seem to be continuously getting hit with, and it's not looking great when you look at it from an overall situation. There is probably ways to clean it up, make it sound a lot better. I just don't have the energy to do that. I do know this is why you play games. This is why people get paid more money than what I get paid, and you kind of just got to let it ride out. Let the games take care of themselves, see where it's going. But I do know that right now Florida State is in flux in a situation where they're going to have to either win or some serious decisions are going to need to be made. And just having been in those situations, like right now, nothing looks like it could go right. And I mean, I do believe that they knew this I don't believe this was, I think we're the only ones who this got kind of just popped up on.
Next thing we got on this topic of FSU football is regarding a post made by Yahoo Sports. Maybe you can give some more insight into this number right here specifically, because it can be sort of a nightmare number to look at first glance. But according to Daniel Libet of Yahoo Sports, FSU reported $437 million in athletics related debt for the 2025 fiscal year. 71% of the university's debt came from athletics. So, James, can you break down this number right here for the average fans? And where did this number even come from, if you know? If you have any idea, because Yahoo Sports, credible source, citing this, how can a school accumulate almost $500 million in athletics-related debt, especially FSU?
When you look at all of the different, like, somebody put up a really good post about it. It's when you show your debt. It's not real. It's like most people operate most people operate in a series of debt. Anyway, hold on, let me find this. It's in one of my NOL groups. So it was really, really good. Try to find this thing. Sorry, but basically, we have a lot of construction, a lot of renovation, a lot of things going on. And I put it's Nick, the guy who's basically been writing all of these negative FSU articles. Like, I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're a little off. But this seems to be an area which he knows. And he put this. Listen, Miami has definitely earned the right to talk, but let's clear a few things up. FSU isn't out of money. It's intentionally levered. Those are revenue bonds backed by future cash flows, not payday loans taken because payroll was missed. That's how capital-intensive organizations fund fixed assets. Basically meaning that It's kind of what I was trying, what I've done before with people. I know, or actually, the perfect example is everybody in here knows about Floyd Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather. Now, this isn't an apples to apples comparison. This is definitely apples to oranges, but it's something that's similar for you to be able to understand. Floyd Mayweather doesn't pay taxes when he was fighting. Floyd Mayweather would wait 3 or 4 years, then he would get hit, then he'll go to court, and he would tell them that I have a match for $100 million that I'm guaranteed to make here. I will pay you off of my future earnings. So essentially what he did was he just kicked it down the road, and he used his money that he knew he was going to make for future earnings to be able to get himself out of a jam, and therefore avoiding paying taxes for the few years in between until he got another big payday. He knew almost every year, once to twice a year, he was going to have a big fight. So what happens is Florida State understands that from a business perspective. Does this make this smart? Does it make it good for the future right now? I mean, does it make it good for the not so distant future? But does it make it good down the road? Yes. All I know is this. We can tell you that we know, based upon our TV revenue deal, we are guaranteed to make X amount of dollars. And as a business person, if you have the discretionary funds, you can invest in this bond knowing that you're going to get, I don't know, anywhere between 3 to 5% on your bread. And especially when you're giving millions of dollars away in a loan, it's not very many things that you're going to get in this economy that you're going to get a consistent ROI on that. And it's back. So the reason why they have that kind of debt is because facilities. It's also facilities one of the few. Facilities are one of the few expenses you're still allowed to amortize, control, and lock in. Players are now variable, short-term, and inflationary. Choosing buildings over bidding wars isn't avoidance; it's risk smoothing. So, like, what it is instead of investing that money into something that we may know will eventually have some kind of lock, we're trying to kick the can down the road to make sure that they have a viable program 5 to 10 years down the road. And again, I'll tell you this. Again, a lot of you guys don't like the NFL. Everybody loves college for what they believe college is, what they believe college stands for, what they believe a lot of these things do. But here's the truth. NFL was like that up until I believe it was 1989 is when free agency started. Can Jaden and Miles look that up for me? When free agency officially started in the NFL? They had a lot of same concepts. You have teams that are I was a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you got drafted, that was that team owned your rights until you were done playing ball. Period. They owned your rights. They could trade away your rights to somebody else, but you were basically that team's property, intellectual property, until they were done with you or until you were done with the league. Okay, 93. Appreciate that. Even crazier. So again, up until 1993, people didn't have control of their stuff. It was very much so like college. Free agency hit. People said that was going to be the end of the NFL. There is no more loyalty. One of the things I always try to tell people as a history major, if you look at what you're saying today, and I can take that and put it in 30 years ago, it's something wrong with what you're saying today. Or if I could take what people said 30 years ago, 30, 60, 100 years ago, and interject that into today, that means that problem is still prevalent today. So you have to kind of sometimes look at what we're getting. And I'm not telling you that Florida State sucks. Florida State sucks football-wise. That is something that's a little bit different than what we actually have going on right now. They suck football-wise. That being said, what we're dealing with as a team is a little bit different than us just not being very good. But like this money issue is an article because on paper it is a money issue. And you just have to right now tough it out. But I will say this, no matter how tough we have to tough it out, it should never be as bad as what it has been. That is still wild. But the money, as far as us being in poverty and being the poor kids on the block, not quite. I mean, I answer all the questions on that, Jaden, or if there's any other stuff.
No, unless somebody in the chat has a specific question regarding the two topics we covered with FSU, but I think you hit all the marks when it comes to the question. So now I saw that you were actually active on social media and giving your opinion on the matter with this post by On3 regarding the timeline of the CFP. Now there are 38 days separating the first round and the national championship in the college football playoff. Now, James, I want to hear your opinion on the college football timeline and what you would do to improve that timeline, especially in regards to the transfer portal opening up in the beginning of January and how this timeline kind of mucks up that transfer portal window timeline, especially for recruitment and other things. You know, it has a bad trickle down effect. So I want to hear your opinion, how you would kind of start to alleviate the issues of the college football playoff timeline.
Move everything up. Like, and it's this is why I tell people why I don't care about college athletes asking for more money. Why I don't care about them wanting more. I mean, look at this. Have y'all? You should probably click on the article, see if they'll let you open it up so that you can like actually see what's going on. Like this year, the national championship was played on MLK, right? Now it would be played on it would be played the last weekend in January, if I remember correctly, in the next 2 years. The 24th is the 25th next year, and then the 24th the year after that. If I'm tracking correctly. They're already in the next semester of school. Now, unless you're trying to make sure you lock in, like teams that have good players are going to be able to lock in, that's fine. Or you just have to like maybe put it back to the spring window, the transfer portal, or you have to allow teams to be able to allow kids to hit the portal, but still guarantee that their scholarship is done until their season is. The scholarship is there until their season is done, or just go ahead and move everything up. There is no reason that you should play your last game on December 1st and potentially, like Miami played their last game on December, let's say Thanksgiving weekend. Then they played their last regular season game Thanksgiving weekend. And then they did not play again until, that would have been 30, 45, 50 days later. That is entirely too much time off. Go ahead and get it started. There's a way to get all of this done before January 1st, like we used to. And then that's actually something that is more beneficial to the student athletes, as opposed to what is going on right now. All this is beneficial to the dollars because nobody, obviously, clearly the ticket sales isn't what people are expecting it to be. All they care about is the money, the eyes on TV, which is what I've been telling people for years. That is the only thing that matters is the TV dollars. But I'm personally like, I'm gonna watch it. But like, if colleges really, really didn't like it, they would just say, "I'm done with this."
So, College Football Report decided to rank the college football playoff champions. And I know this list definitely caused some ragers to rage out because they got some names that many people might not put at that spot. So I want to reiterate, this is the college playoff football champions. So I'm assuming they're going from the 2013 year on up when the college football playoff actually occurred. And FSU isn't on this list. So I'm hoping they just completely forgot about the 2013 squad because I'm pretty sure that is when the CFP era kicked off, either 2013
No, it's
or
2014.
2014.
We played in the first.
I'm sorry.
We played in the first one. Yeah, so we're not in this for a reason.
Okay. Got you.
And there's only so many teams to be able to pick from. So like that's kind of why you're seeing this this list, and I believe LSU is the best out of all of those. 2020 Alabama. No. Wait a minute, hold on. 2019 LSU played January 2020, right?
Yeah, that was their championship. COVID year was their championship year.
You know what I'm saying? Before COVID hadn't hit yet. COVID was
Oh,
Alabama's
I mean,
Alabama won the
yeah,
COVID.
yeah. They were at the beginning of at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah,
That's when
nobody
they.
number two.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be number two. That shouldn't be the number two team. Then. Alabama shouldn't be that number two team. Indiana wasn't as sexy at times, but they weren't bad. They're pretty damn good, in my opinion. Like I don't understand why. I don't understand the hate that they receive, or because they're just not. I guess it's just not as sexy as what everybody wants it to be. So, but nah, they that list is fine. It's just interesting how much north they've gone ever since they started paying players equitably.
Just wanted to share that with you guys. Give you guys some information to think about in regards to who you would rank as the college football playoff national champions in some order. And I thought it was a good idea, conversation starter in this morning because we did see a dominant 2025 Indiana squad, but still thinks 2019 LSU holds the crown for the best college football playoff national champion in the CFP era. So that was our college segment for the day. And now we are going to get into a very hard topic to discuss as Jaguar fans because we know it, well, not we know, because a casual fan might not be aware of the amount of people the Jags have as free agents this offseason. And Wonder Boy does have to make some important decisions for the squad in terms of who's staying and who's not. Now, the biggest comparison of who's staying and who's not is actually coming from two different sides of the ball, offense and defense. Would you rather keep Travis Etienne, or would you rather keep Devin Lloyd? And it looks like, according to ESPN Duraco, James, that the Jags might part ways, most likely will part ways with Mr. Devin Lloyd. So Devin Lloyd is hitting free agency and hit the estimated franchise tag of $27.5 million is too high, and he'll demand a big contract, rightfully so, in free agency. If we can't afford Devin Lloyd and trade for him, I don't think we will be able to trade for Crosby. I know that's a name that's been circulating out, but the money got to add up, and the money definitely won't add up if we try and get Max Crosby. But James, Devin Lloyd going. I know this is a big factor on our defense flourishing. You know, obviously was one of the leaders in interceptions in the league as a linebacker. But what do you think about Lloyd potentially leaving us? And man, I just hope nobody in the AFC South gets this great guy right here.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is try to block where he can goes. But I don't know what the cap situation is for the Jags, how much space they have. You know, I do believe that they are making the right decision because I mean, if we being honest, this year he's playing at a high level, right? This is outside of that, he's been okay. He hasn't been overly great. Um, and it's kind of like you don't want to get into the Jazz can't afford to delay the momentum, right? You don't want to get into a situation like you have with Josh Allen, where he did come back on this year a little bit better, but he had a gap year from the payment. Changed his last name to have two last names, and then things just didn't go as well as you wanted it to go. You've got to figure out, can you do this with another guy? Can you be another stock? Because what you did was you essentially let a guy come in and have a great year during a contract season. Is your D line good enough? And you were talking about Max Crosby, right, Jaden? Like, if Max Crosby's worth 27.5 and you believe bringing him in will exponentially make your defense, your D line, that much better, then you go find another guy. You go find another Devin Lloyd type guy. You got Foye, who gives you the consistency in the middle that you need in tackling, because again, he's a guy who I believe he's one of the few people who have ever had 1,000 tackles in his career. So you've got him, but you just got to find another athletic linebacker that's going to be able to, that's going to be able to take that place. Hey, gotta go. Gotta go. Fuck. Hey, let me actually, Jaden, take over, Jaden. I just got some terrible news.
All right, guys. Well, as a Jags fan, as someone who's born and raised in the city of Duval, aka 904, Devin Lloyd did play his best season of football for the Jags this year, but I also think Travis Etienne performed his best season on the offensive side of the football as well. And those two were definitely the biggest names in terms of this free agency market. But we have players such as De'Ami Brown, Tim Patrick, a couple linemen thrown in the mix as well, who's in the free agent market. But Jaguars do have to make a quick decision, quick, fast, and in a hurry for their season. Obviously, the salary cap is getting a bump up in the near future, and Jaguars are looking to capitalize on that. But for now, the Jaguars aren't in the best cap position. I actually think they're in the hole in terms of cap space, and the Jaguars definitely need to alleviate some of that financial pressure. But if you guys know, then if you don't know, I'll explain that the cap is just like any other things in business. These GMs and owners can find a way to work around that. And I hope the Jaguars can definitely find some things to make everything work out. But in case it doesn't work out like that, man, this news of Devin Lloyd hurts for sure. But you just have to hope, like James mentioned, you got to block out the other teams, your rivals, from getting this star of a stud right here. Since James actually left the show, and it looks like we're going to be cutting it short early, I just want to give you guys an update on any of the latest news in the NFL. So we're just going to be looking at the NFL Insider's official X account, aka Adam Schefter, and just see the recent stories that have been in the media as of late, just to give you guys a early morning refresher of the NFL news. So I'm going to just share this with you guys, and then let's get it started. The Vikings GM getting fired spurred up a lot of conversation because there was articles that came out that said that members of the team did feel away when the GM took paternity leave when his child was born, missing, I think it was a 2-week figure when his child was born, and that he missed some meetings during the time when his child was born. And a lot of people, and some people, I'm not going to say a lot, took some emotion to him taking that time off for paternity leave, and a lot of sports talking has decided to give their opinions on it. Some saying that the 2-week paternity leave does not give somebody enough means to form that kind of anger with somebody. Some people were saying if you can't sacrifice that time with the squad, then you should get attack on your resume and I wouldn't say should get fired, but have a reason for somebody to fire you. And I just wanted to know what you guys thought, especially in terms of that paternity leave situation for the former Vikings GM Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. But everybody on the internet definitely pulled up that draft resume of Kwesi's, and it was not the best. The way him and the Vikings have drafted these last couple years haven't been the greatest, and the most notable players that they've drafted have just been their first day guys or their first or second day guys. Jordan Addison, JJ McCarthy. Those are just the more facey names, but in terms of production, there hasn't been too many great guys they've drafted in the draft who was on the field doing some numbers. So just wanted to update you guys with that source as well. And we're going to keep on keeping on because the Baltimore Ravens are hiring the Bears OC Declan Dole as their offensive coordinator. So he will have play calling responsibility as well. So shout out to all of my Dirty Birds fans out there. And if you guys didn't know, the Seattle Seahawks said today's price is not yesterday's price. So the Seattle Seahawks are actually going up for sale after Super Bowl LX. So they now end years of questions about when the team would seek new ownership following the 2018 death of former owner Paul G. Allen. So according to Seth Wickersham, the Patriots will approximately get sold for $7 to $8 billion per a rival team executive. So they could set a new NFL record in terms of value for that franchise. And they are looking to raise that price. So shout out to the Seattle Seahawks, hoping to get a dub and boost that 7 to 8 billion to maybe 9 to 10, 8 to 9 as well. And for your Steelers, Patrick Graham is the new DC out there as well. So we're going to be moving up and talking about the Buffalo Bills, expected to hire Broncos defensive passing game coordinator and assistant head coach Jim Leonard as their DC. So we're going to be moving on as well, and we're going to be talking about the Falcons because Falcons named former Jets OC Tanner Engstrand as their passing game coordinator. And after meeting Saturday with Las Vegas and Arizona, Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak intends to try and work out a deal to become the next head coach of the Raiders, but no deal can be finalized until after the Super Bowl. So we'll keep you guys updated on the Clint Kubiak head coaching position as well. So we're going to be moving on and talk about the Arizona Cardinals and them targeting their offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, as their new head coach. So huge shout out to the Arizona Cardinals for finally getting their guy. They were one of the last teams to get a head coach, and they found one in Mike LaFleur. For all of my for all my Dirty Birds out there, for all of my Falcons fans out there, Raheem found a place. 49ers are set to hire former Falcons head coach Raheem Morris as their DC. He is expected to replace Robert Saleh, who is now the Tennessee Titans head coach. Moving on. Got to talk about Sean McVay because Sean McVay actually got an extension as well with the Rams. Huge shout out to Sean McVay. Going to keep scrolling up. You can see it right here. Sean McVay and general manager Les Snead signed contract extensions as well. Going to be moving on up through the list. And Ravens are expected to hire Dolphins DC Anthony Weaver as their DC. Ravens had some OC and DC news as well. So they got both sides of that coordinator coin figured out for the fans and for the program. And Denver's passing game coordinator, Davis Webb, has reached an agreement to become his team's new OC for any of my Broncos fans out there. And Jaguars, this Jaguar fans, this name is familiar. Titans are hiring 49ers assistant head coach Gus Bradley as their DC. He's actually joining Robert Saleh as well, defensive-minded head coach for the Tennessee Titans. This was a big story as well, but this isn't the first time this happened. Patriots owner Robert Kraft, like Bill Belichick, was not selected for entry into this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame class. The class of 2026 will be revealed Thursday at NFL Honors in San Francisco, but Kraft won't make the list. So this is the first year where Robert Kraft advanced to become a finalist, albeit in the contributor category, but he was still denied entry into the Hall of Fame that includes NFL owners such as Jerry Jones, Pat Bowlen, Eddie DeBartolo Jr., Ralph Wilson, and Dan Rooney. So that's just some update on the Robert Kraft dilemma. And Giants are hiring former Chiefs OC Matt Nagy as their offensive coordinator. So just to give you guys an update on that as well, and update on an Indiana quarterback coach. So Indiana quarterback coach Chandler Whitmer has accepted a job with the Bucs. He was the Heisman Trophy winners quarterback coach during the Heisman Trophy season, and this was his only year at IU. So he went from the Heisman to the NFLs. So shout out to Chandler Whitmer. Definitely had a historic year on his resume for coaching up that Heisman Trophy winner. And my Jets fans, it looks like it's getting worse. Jets are hiring former Panthers and Colts head coach Frank Reich as their OC. Reich was also Stanford's interim head coach last season, but now he returns to the NFL. So we had to cut this show short. Sorry for everybody out there, but we did want to give you guys an update on the more notable events in the NFL since we are here at the NFL events during Super Bowl week. Have a lot of busy stuff. Thank you guys for looking at the content. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on our content, repost on our stories. Instagram got that cool little repost feature you can use now. Definitely will be much appreciated. But we just want to give you guys a quick update regarding some of the more important news and talk about Super Bowl LX right quick. Super Bowl LX will be occurring between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots here in San Francisco, technically Santa Clara, California, at the Levi's Stadium, aka the 49ers Stadium. Bad Bunny is going to be performing the Super Bowl halftime show, and it's going to be a battle of the defenses. Going to be a great game to watch. Definitely stay tuned for this game. Not the most sexy Super Bowl matchup in terms of names, but there is some popular players in the mix who have been dominating their position. But Miles, if you're still here, if not, we will definitely see you guys later, and Miles is going to take us out the show. Thank you guys so much for watching Wednesday's episode of Big Games B.S. here on February 4th, 2026.